Rampage, I know you were talking about Aljo. We had Aljamain Sterling here in the podcast. Aljamain Sterling, we know he was in Karate Combat 48. What was the process like of getting a fighter who's currently in the UFC into Karate Combat?
Well, sometimes that's tough, but as long as they don't have a fight coming up in a very short notice, it's no problem. We have a great relationship with the UFC. A lot of organizations try to fight against the UFC, like PFL, they're trying to battle them. We just don't want to do that. We want to be the greatest striking league in the world. We're trying to go away from that, right? We are focused on like a very niche audience, you know, striking oriented with a pit and production, and we're just trying to do it different. And we want good relationships with them, especially because I'm still coaching fighters in the UFC. You know,
really?
So,
actively?
Yeah, I mean, at least once a month I'm cornering somebody in the UFC. So because of that, I look up to Dana White, to be honest. I wish he would want an apprentice. I would love to learn from him, you know? I'm still very young in the sport, and I'm learning trial and error, and that's no good.
So you're saying you'd leave Karate Combat and go?
No. I'm saying I would love to learn.
As an apprentice, he would like to learn how to run an event.
Look,
I think that's very knowledgeable of you, and I think that's honestly, that shows how good of a mind you have. Great representation of Karate Combat's like business side, because that's the smartest thing you could say. That guy's #1 in the world when it comes to putting on events. Everybody should want to learn from him. Why fight that?
Of course. Look, I was a fighter. I had a coach, right? Now I'm a promoter. I would love to have a coach. And having a guy like that as your coach, that would be the best coach in the world, wouldn't that? Right?
Yeah, and
how could you not want that?
And Karate Combat is not competition, not the same.
Not at all. Yeah. In fact, what we did is to build that relationship with the UFC, we gave it to Fight Pass for free. We're not accepting any money from them. We just give it to them for free because I love the freaking UFC. I think they're all awesome, and I don't care to compete with them.
What'd you think of Aljo's performance?
Dude, it was sick. It was actually very dramatic. They went into this overtime, right? And they gave the opponent, JJ Willis, a controversial point. Aljo jumped guard with a guillotine, and they gave the other guy a point for pulling guard, for Aljo pulling guard. And Aljo looked at the ref like, yo, why'd you give this guy a point on overtime? So now he only had a couple minutes to make up for that. What ended up happening, I believe it was literally the last 10 seconds. He somehow passed the guard, jumped into mount, caught the back. It was so dramatic, but it just showed why he's champ, right? He's like, okay, he complained, he thought it was unfair, but that didn't stay in his head. He's like, okay, let me go and do something about it. He got absurdly aggressive and got it done, and he won. It was amazing.
What's up with the judges? Awesome. What's up with the judges, though?
Bro, yeah, man. It was, I don't know. I'm not a judge, unfortunately, you know? That sucks. Commission and organization's always separate. That's one thing that stinks, too. Many times the fighters, you know, that don't have a good performance, they often look at the organization, right?
Yeah.
It's not us, man. Unfortunately, you know, sometimes I wish decision would go another way, but I can't do that. I would totally do it if I could. I would override the commission and be like, no, you're wrong. But I can't. They have the power, right? So unfortunately, you know, it is what it is. If there's a wrong decision, there's a wrong decision.
So is it true that there was a possibility of Anderson Silva versus Luke Rockhold in Karate Combat, and you guys gave the blank check to both fighters, and it was just a matter of timing because Anderson was fighting Uncle Chael?
I don't know about the blank check, but we were talking to Anderson's team, and then he had the fight with Chael, and so it didn't make sense.
We heard that you offered Anderson $3 million.
He had a fight. He had a fight with Chael. I'm not sure if we can call that a fight.
Let's be real. I love both those guys, but yeah, it wasn't so much of a fight. But hey, they're both legends, man.
Are we going to see Luke back on Karate Combat towards the end of this year?
That's what I'm saying. Like it's surely like a mission of mine to make that tournament happen. What sucks is like a guy like him and Bisping, it would be such a cool match by itself. It's a trilogy.
Is Bisping down to fight Luke?
Bisping, I was on his podcast twice, and both times he's like, "Where's Luke Rockhold? When are we going to make this?" He's going off.
Whoa,
on it. Yeah.
So Michael Bisping wants to fight with Luke Rockhold.
No, he's in.
Could you get Anderson to sign up for that?
That's the thing, right? I want to do a good 4-man, like a really.
I mean, that's the biggest 4-man.
Machida, Anderson, Bisping, Luke. Done.
I called it out. Hey, replay
JAXXON
the podcast.
will be there hosting. Me and Rampage will go live.
And everyone,
I think we got millions of views.
Everyone was a champion.
Oh, that's the battle of the belts.
Dude, I'll make the world's biggest karate trophy ever. It'll be sick. It'll be nasty.
One belt to rule them all.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the craziest 4-man combo I've ever heard. We'll throw Rampage in there, too.
I love the things.
Rampage versus Forrest or Rampage versus
I want to come and break the boards. I want to come and break the boards.
You imagine doing that on the beach in Rio. You'd have shut down the whole city. You'd have millions of people.
You're right.
Millions of people. Do the Rolls Royces, pull up, red carpet.
He's already thinking. President Awesome's thinking. What's? I mean, you don't have to say the
money
number.
back just in.
You don't have to say the number. What's the payroll looking like right now? Are you guys able to just spend millions every fight, or you guys have to go back to the VCs every fight? How are you putting together?
So what's really awesome is our league is completely tokenized. We're into crypto. So it's the first crypto-run sports league, and the reason why that gives us an advantage is nobody else is doing it. So every single crypto sponsor on the planet, if they want to sponsor a sport, it can only be us. So it's really, really awesome. There's just no competition for us. So with this crypto, with the token controlling the league and all these sponsors coming in, it gives us the ability to throw ridiculous events. I mean, the production of our events, if you watch it, it's insanely expensive.
So plus really or minus crazy. 5 million to throw an event?
I don't know if the founders would want me to say numbers like that. I'm not even sure.
Because it looks like you're battling inside an NFT.
You're taking advantage of my inexperience. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about that.
I mean, it's an incredible venue. It literally looks like an NFT.
No. It's gorgeous. And then if you see the virtual backgrounds, have you seen that?
Yeah.
We create these worlds. It's insane. And I was telling Jackson earlier, like it gives you endless ability for sponsorships too. We have like a blimp flying by, the sponsor's there. We make these like crazy rocket ships with the sponsor logo on it, it's flying around. We make crazy worlds. It's really cool.
How much a sponsorship package is going to cost F3? What's you?
Let's go.
Let's talk some numbers.
You see the vibe on this podcast? You know what's happening?
F3's coming in hot.
Fucking playing.
Yeah.
Wow. I was just thinking about it's kind of fucked up because would Anderson and Lyoto fight each other? And on my side, it's like, how do you not do me and Bisping first? But if you couldn't put those guys against each other first, it'd be like, if you might miss that opportunity, me and Bisping get that trilogy.
You would have to.
You got to do that first. But then would they fight each other first too?
Wow, that's a very good question.
There's a lot of.
I did consider that variable also. But regardless,
I think they'd fight each other.
I'll tell you this: regardless of the other names, definitely you're on that list to be on that type of tournament.
Wow.
One, because
what a compliment.
You're dead set on a tournament.
I haven't kissed your ass enough. You don't know this, but I'm a really big fan, man. I am truly. Like I've watched your whole career, everything you've done. When you had staph infection, you fought Chris Weidman, and you fucking just. You came out with a crazy win, having a terrible camp. I remember everything about both you guys. I grew up watching you guys. You know what I mean?
I'd like to get back in and give it a proper go. I mean, obviously I had 3 weeks to prepare. I wasn't training. I went into bare knuckle boxing, not exactly my realm. But and then I fought Paulo Costa. So my last few fights have not nearly been my best. The Paulo Costa I fought him like at a high altitude, broke my nose, and I was coming off 3-year layoff. So there's a lot of things. I think right now is I'm feeling better than I've ever felt, and I'd like to get the right opponent.